Hi, welcome to Elaine Enlightening's video blog number 33. Today we're continuing through Course in Miracles lesson 23, and I'm going to do some tapping today on something that's come up for me, and I'll tie the lesson into that principle. So today's lesson is that I can escape from the world I see by giving up attack thoughts. So Course in Miracles says in the lesson that by doing this lesson and applying the principle that's taught here, everything can change. Everything. So it's the only way out of fear at all possible is when we recognize the principle taught in this lesson. So this is a powerful lesson. In the past few lessons I have had some pretty big shifts. Those shifts sometimes cause confusion, and I had a couple, 3 days where I felt a little bit in that confused state. And it's not as major as it used to be when I go through this, because I have the tools to deal with it with my emotional freedom technique, but in particular holistic belief reprogramming, which my mentor Erica Awakening has taught me and I was trained in for the past year plus. So having said that, we just want to be aware that you cannot fail if you apply this lesson. Now it's starting. We're at a point in the course of the lessons where we want to start recognizing that it's going to take our cooperation with the lessons for them to actually have the shift. But the part that we don't have to put any effort in is for our perception to change. Once we apply the lesson, it's already there. We already have the vision that it takes to see the world completely differently. A whole new perception of love is very possible. I had someone, another healer that's a friend of mine, make a post about, it's basically a question, and I'm not quoting it verbatim, but it was basically about, whenever we're not experiencing bliss, what do we do about that? I mean, how do we deal with that? So I just basically shared what I do, and I got the responses on that to what I said were basically that we need a balance of fear and love. I mean, these other people felt like that fear and love are something we need to have, both. And that fear is something we need to keep us safe. And this is just, I'm not condemning anybody for that belief, because I have been there much of my life, so I totally get that. And this is basically what's taught in religion, Christianity and that type of a thing, that we need fear to keep safe. We need fear to keep us on the path. And that is just a deception of the ego. And this lesson will help us move past that, okay? So if you do believe that you need that balance in your life, you are going to have experiences in your life where you're going to manifest that you need both, because that's your belief. And as we've said earlier in the lessons, whatever it is that you believe, whether it's false or true, whatever your thoughts are, that's going to manifest in your reality. And that's what you're going to see, is that you need both. And if you decide that you no longer need fear, and that fear is not a driving positive force in your life, then you can start moving towards just love. Because we're created just like God, as love and in love. Okay? So we don't have to see the world that way anymore. And it's a process. So the fact that today, as I applied this lesson throughout my day, it's evening here, I really have seen amazing shifts as I practice these lessons. Now I had a time today where I did feel attacked, and I thought to apply the lesson, and I was able to experience compassion and love and give myself what I needed at the time, as opposed to feeling like, oh, somebody doesn't give it to me, I'm miserable, and I feel all alone, even when I'm with someone else. And the fact that I even felt attacked is a sign that it's karma, you could call it karma. It's just a sign that I'm continuing to release from the past guilt. So we're letting go of the past. We're moving into a new future. So when we get to the point where we realize that the world we see is a vengeful world, and that our attack thoughts or the thoughts or the feeling that we're being attacked, they're the same thing. But we'll try to separate. The ego will try to say there's a difference between being attacked and attacking. There isn't. But it's okay. Just apply them both to this lesson, because at this point it won't make a lot of sense. That's okay. Just go ahead and apply it. But we do want to change the way we see the world, but we've made the world that we see, and it may be hard to grasp that right now, and that's okay. Just apply the lesson. So basically what someone presented to me was the idea that when they go on a trip and they travel, especially over time zones, that type of a thing, that they can just always expect to be irregular, and their body's going to be all out of whack because they're not on the regular diet, just whatever it is. All these things are going to create havoc in the body. And that just brought to my attention again that this is fear that I have, that when I travel to Bali, I'm going to experience a lot of issues with my body. So I just want to do a tapping round on that, and I will apply this lesson to that so that you can see that the point is here, these principles, spiritual principles, are wonderful. If we don't know how to ground them into our life and bring heaven to earth, then they'll just remain spiritual principles, and we won't see our life changing, and we won't see the miracles happening. It was a miracle today what happened to me as I applied this lesson. Okay? And we can expect more miracles as we continue to make these shifts. We've got to be grounded. So I just took my son to a movie. I'm going to share this real quick. After Earth. And in the movie, the father tells his son, in a crisis situation, he explains to him that, and the dad is presented in the movie as a very fearless type of ranger. So he's telling his son that fear is not real, and that it's just a product of their thoughts, our thoughts. Fear is just a product of our thoughts, okay? And that all fits really well with what I was going to say. The one thing he said was that danger is still inevitable, though. And that's the one thing we want to realize. It's another level of understanding, to realize that enlightenment comes when we realize that as we shift, that we don't need to expect danger either. Because when we expect it, we'll receive it, and we'll see it in our world, okay? So that's why this is so powerful and important. Okay? And talk to him about getting really present first when you feel fear. So just get really present. This is a really important part of this process, is to get present in your body and to start noticing your feelings and emotions. You can stay present while you're talking. You can stay present while you're listening. It is possible for us to do that. The breath will always bring you to your body if you allow it. So take a deep breath and start on karate chop. Even though I can't escape the world I see by giving up attack thoughts about traveling, I deeply and completely love and accept myself anyway. Even though I have a lot of fear, because in the past, I've seen the results, and they're really negative every time I travel. And this time I'm going to be traveling even further away and be gone a longer time than I've ever experienced. So there's a part of me that's very fearful that my body just isn't going to be able to tolerate all the changes. I love and accept myself anyway. Let's go to the top of the head. I can't escape the world I see by giving up attack thoughts about traveling, about how time zones, especially when there's several time zones, will affect my regularity. I'm expecting headaches, constipation, more moody, more sensitive. It's going to be a different climate. Going to be a lot of people around that are unfamiliar. totally different culture. Part of me expects Bali to be a more positive culture and a better energy, but I don't really know that for sure. Part of me thinks it's all going to be scary. I probably won't be regular the whole time. I'll probably gain weight. I'll probably feel more irritable and edgy. The water will be different. Food will be different. Conversations will be different. All the activities will be different. I can't escape the world I see by giving up attack thoughts about all these fears about traveling. Now we're just going to say these 4 phrases, okay? It's Ho'oponopono. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I can't escape the world I see by giving up attack thoughts about traveling to Bali. I expect miracles. I trust God and the angels. To show me a whole new way of seeing traveling, other than the way I've seen it in the past. I release all fear and guilt. Decide for God for me. Decide for God for me. Decide for God for me. Okay, take a deep breath. I don't know if you noticed there, whenever I took a deep breath during that round, it was a result of a shift. And when you feel the shift in your body, there's a shift in your subconscious. So that was great. I really was glad I shared that with you. It was totally intuition. That's how I desire to live my life and my coaching. I'm very passionate about what I do and what I believe, what I have learned, and the system that I believe in, which is holistic belief reprogramming. If you're interested in private sessions, you can go to taplightunlimited.com/coaching. Elaine Enlightening. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.